Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome. So today I want to talk to you about cave generation, dungeon generation, and the possibility of elevators in Hytale. So to get started, in Hytale we have world zones. This has been out for quite a while, but these are larger, unique zones which make up the main planet of Orbis. You've got grassland zone, deserts, ice plains, volcanic zones, and others which will be released later. Now these all work with a world generation system which dictates the rules. So what blocks are used to create the landscape, what sets of biomes are present in each zone, and the different topography in each zone. So whether it's a really flat zone or whether it's full of hills, whether it's got massive craters in it or whatever. So caves will be procedurally generated, and this means that they're built randomly, but they're still based upon the zone's world generation rules. So you can't have tons and tons and tons of grass in a desert zone because it doesn't follow the rules there. Now it's all simple stuff really. I mean, you've seen this all before. Perhaps you'll only find thorium in a volcanic area, and maybe the volcanic area gets populated with more spikes and has specific enemies to that zone. This is all stuff that you may not have thought about, but is present in other games as well, and it's pretty simple stuff. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is caves. So the caves themselves, these are just sprawling wide gaps in the world, and these contain secrets, so good to explore, creatures which are unique to the zone and the biome, and important resources. Specific to the zones and biomes as well. So these caves are really the things that you'll probably go into first, and they're quite important to get started, it seems. Now the real interesting thing are the dungeons. These are made up of handcrafted rooms, scenarios within the rooms, and encounters as well. And these are linked together randomly with passageways, usually ending the dungeon with a hand-tailored boss encounter and tailored loot as well. So there's no more rubbish pumpkin seeds and saddles for Hytale. Some of the already established loot options could be gear and weapons, which we know will take a more MMO approach to equipment. So they'll have stats and bonus effects. So there's definitely an upgrade system that you want to progress. So doing dungeons will help you upgrade pieces of your gear. So we definitely makes it already more an interesting type of loot to acquire. So you can also get recipes for new and unique crafting options, keys or prerequisites to other dungeons as well. So you may have to do dungeon 1 before you can do dungeon 2 because it gets you a key at the end of it. And the obvious stuff as well, like rare materials, maps, and other devices like that. You might also complete quests and stuff, possibly. So the extent to which dungeons are randomly made will vary though. So some will be heavily procedurally generated, so they'll have a lot of hand-built rooms, but there'll be, a lot of them, and you just kind of like, it's a big sprawling area, while others are less procedurally generated and more handcrafted. So it's like a bar, it can be really procedurally generated or it can be really handcrafted. The Temple of Gaia example that we've saw so far looks like a very large pre-built encounter where you've got to help the Quebecs defeat the golem. This seems very handcrafted. So the dungeons are randomly placed within the world, but they can be identified by a pre-built structure above ground usually that allows access. Now some of the dungeons might lock off access until certain requirements are met. If you think back to Eyes of Ender and the End Portal in Minecraft as a basis, but the potential for the requirements could be more unique and different for each. These are reported to feature handcrafted challenges, objectives and rewards to gain entry. Now if we go back again, we can remember that one of the possible loots for beating a dungeon is a requirement or a key for another dungeon. So, this is where it could lock off access until that thing. And there's loads of ways you could do that, so I won't speculate. But hopefully they are interesting ways of gaining access to dungeons. Now, looking back at the two topics we've covered so far, we are given some sneak peeks at world generation rules of dungeons from these two screenshots, which are generally new. Notice how one of them is quite sparse, organized, and has a large amount of open rooms. The other is tightly packed, a lot darker, and on the whole, larger. It looks like a larger dungeon, more difficult dungeon to just go through straight from this screenshot. Now, if we look very closely at these dungeons, many people have been drawn to the bright lines in the middle. Now, many, myself included, have surmised that this is probably an elevator. Now, personally, like many of you out there, I've already started to plan my first Hytale build. It's going to be a very important jumping off point for my entire Hytale series, and I would very much like an elevator in it. I've planned it with an elevator, so I'm really looking forward to this. It looks like there's 4 vertical tracks in a square and a platform at the bottom that would go up and down. Now, Minecraft tracks are already confirmed, but there shouldn't be a reason why you can't do vertical movement in the same sort of premise. Although the platform seems harder to move up and down, but I'm excited for them to confirm this or give us some more information on this. I really hope there is a proper elevator, because my whole build would really benefit from an elevator. So let me know your thoughts on the subject. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. And if you liked, then let me know. And also you can subscribe to the channel for more Hytale content in the future. And have a wonderful day. Goodbye.